What's up, everybody? Let's try that again. All right, what's up, everybody? This is day 3 through 10 for this whole thing. I was going to try to blog every day. At the beginning of this, I think I got to day 2, and then that was the end of it. Well, days 3 through 10 were all pretty crazy. I was working the furniture job that I work with my brother-in-law, Eric. That job has me up at 5:30 a.m. and work until 3:30 or 4. And it's a long, hard day. It was a lot. So to find time to be working on this music production course, sometimes the lessons were like 2 hours out of the day. So I'd get home and have to try and watch the lesson and then do the lesson. So it turned out to be a lot. I had a lot of bumps along the road as well. Andrew, the instructor, was asking us to kind of put a challenge in there to use a lot of software instruments. So it meant that I ended up with, I think, 90 or more tracks. So each instrument was a different track. And these are all what's called software instruments. So that means they're all happening within the computer. So the computer's processing power needs to generate all of those sounds. I record them on a MIDI keyboard, and then all of the sounds get made by the computer. So it's really intensive on your computer. I'm getting way off track here, but I'm having a lot of fun. I was trying to work on like drum sounds and stuff, and I found an interesting drum sound and ran it through distortion. It was actually my original whole drum beat thing that I ended up mistakenly putting on just one tom. And then that inspired me to like play with the notes and put them in somewhat of a key. I think I'm kind of in F or B flat. But then that inspired me to maybe play on the keyboard myself. And so I have this Latin loop that I'm probably not going to use in the tune at all, but I'm using it as a background to jam to. Check this out. So what's up? I'm getting way off track. I'm not going to redo that part. I'm not going to redo it. I'm just going to go, here we go. Not very long into this process of creating this song, my computer started freaking out. Things are just going crazy. The software would just stop, and then I'd have to reload it and start over again. Probably the craziest part was one day when I was working on one section, and I went back to the beginning of the tune and pressed play, where I should be hearing piano and a drum part. Well, instead of drums, all of a sudden my drum part is playing a piano part. So it's this crazy sound because the drum pitches aren't actual pitches that are related to the song, and it's drum rhythms. Sounds all crazy. And so then I had to dig through the track and come to find out all of my tracks switched by 1 or 2 or how many ever. So almost all of the instruments were playing the wrong sound all of a sudden. I couldn't find a way out of that. That's not one of those, it's not like something like I press this button and it makes them all do that, makes them all switch or switch back. That was just some crazy glitch that the computer had. And all of a sudden, all of my MIDI information sounds are playing different sound sources. I don't know why this got changed. So I'm going to start off. See, this track is labeled drums. We'll solo that. It's a piano sound. this sounds like it sounds. That's the right sound. This one doesn't make any sound. That one doesn't make any sound. So my regular drum sounds don't make any sound at all. The labels are all different. That one's a clap now. That one became a drum sound. That was my stack of melody notes. Now this one says tom low, boom bap. So I had to go back, and fortunately I had saved a version, so I went back one version and everything was still the same in there. So I had to just redo the new stuff that I had done, but I was able to get back on track. That was a couple hours out of one of the days, just sort of chasing down bugs. So I decided rather quickly that I needed to upgrade the RAM on my computer. This iMac that I have is now 6 years old, and I have gotten away with only 8 gigabytes of RAM up until now. But now that I'm really digging into music production, 8 gigabytes ain't cutting it anymore. So I found on OWC, Other World Computing, I think that's called, for less than $200, I was able to upgrade to 32 gigabytes of RAM. Awesome. So I did it. Bit the bullet, 2-day shipping, got that stuff here, installed, no problem. Get it up and running. The first day I use it, everything's lickety split, working good. Then I sort of proceed and keep adding more instruments, and because there's this section that needs more instruments and this section needs more instruments, and pretty soon the thing starts stopping again, just in the middle of me trying to work on this and go back, and then program just shuts off, got nothing. And obviously I lose progress every time I do that, so I was trying to auto save or save all the time and all of this stuff. So I ended up calling Apple, and they put me in touch with a Logic specialist, and this guy sat on the phone with me for quite a while, actually. Sat on the phone with him, and he basically, it was kind of like I was a child, and he sat me down and said, now you understand that when you load up your computer and you do all of these things, that this is going to mean that da-da-da-da-da. And took me through all the steps and explained how what I'm doing is kind of too much for this computer. There are some things that I can do to help it along. So I'm going to have to really get good at keeping the hard drive itself on this computer in good shape and nice and tidy. I'm sort of getting tight on that one. And I have all these external drives that I have plenty of space on, but the internal hard drive is where a lot of, especially for Logic, my music software, that's where the processing has to take place in there. So I had to learn all these little tips and tricks from the Apple guy, which I'm going to implement and do that because I'm trying to run a studio here, so I better be good at that stuff. Also, I made the decision to stop working the furniture stuff for the rest of this course, at least. So this is kind of a taking a leap moment in my life. I really want to go all in with this music production thing. And I now have two different guys who are steady clients, and we're working on their songs and building up to an album and all of that. And I feel like I can make these songs sound amazing, but I have to put the time in. As far as really being a music producer, I'm just getting started. So I know all the stuff I need to know in some ways, but in a lot of ways, I just need to do it, and I need to make mistakes, and I need to then learn from those mistakes and learn how to do it better. As well as like I'm trying to record drum tracks for Derek, and I really want the drum tracks to sound good. I'm not playing drums all that much. I'm loading furniture in and out and building office cubicles. So my drum chops are kind of hurting, and that's not helping these drum tracks sound as good as I know that I can make them sound if I can put the time in. So there's all this kind of frustration that was happening this week, and it was kind of mirrored in like the problems that my computer was having. It was just one of those things where it's like my computer is just sort of freaking out and like, I can't handle all this stuff. And that's actually how I was feeling, is like, I can't handle all this. I felt like I'm not doing everything as well as I could or should be doing all of this stuff. So this course runs through April 24th, and I'm going to just dive into this course. And by not going to work for the furniture job, I'm going to be able to get back to practicing my drums, get back to practicing my bass. I haven't played my bass in a long time, and I'm new on that instrument, so I need to be putting the time in, and I'm very aware of that. I know that I'll be able to make some really nice bass recordings, drum and bass recordings for people, but I got to practice that instrument. I got to practice both of those instruments to really do my best. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dive in. I'm going to make my days all about music production. And for me, that's going to mean getting in here and practicing drums, practicing bass, making those like daily things that I'm doing so that my skills are sharp, so that when I need to record drum tracks, I'm in it. I'm sharp. I'm in tune. You know, I feel like a jogger who's trying to run a marathon, only I haven't been putting on my running shoes for the past year, hardly at all. You know, I'm not going to be running as well as I could. And it's the same thing. Drums is a very physical instrument, as well as like the mental sharpness. So yeah, I'm jumping all in. So yeah, I'm about to play you my first tune. I have finished just before this. My assignment was to get this tune all the way complete, close the books on it, turn it in. Okay, that's it. So at the end of this video, I'll play you that song in its entirety. I really had a lot of fun creating this tune. It's way different than anything I would have created had I not been taking this course. And it's interesting because we're in a peer group for this thing, and we upload our stuff, and then we get a chance to listen to what the other students are uploading. And as I heard other students' stuff, I realized that I was kind of a little too on the nose with what Andrew was teaching. So what I mean by that is, when I heard other students upload their stuff, it sounded completely like their stuff. Whereas I felt like when I uploaded my song, or as I got into my song, and we keep going back to watch Andrew do his song, I'm realizing that I was just kind of rather directly taking his ideas and just putting them into my song, which is kind of what we're supposed to do. But when I was able to see what the other students were doing, they were able to do it a little bit more with their own voice than I was. And not like vocal voice, but their own musical voice. Having said that, I'm very happy with the song that I came up with. Like I said, I never would have come up with this before, and I do feel like I was able to express my musical voice in certain aspects of this song. Um, you'll probably be able to tell what those parts were. So the assignment was electronic music production, and some people bent the rules a little bit. Some people bent the rules a lot. Some people followed the rules fairly directly. I tried to be, following the rules fairly closely, almost as a challenge, because I'm used to turning on a microphone and recording my own cowbell, recording my own drums, recording my own shakers, and all these other instruments. So it was a challenge for me to take all of the sounds from within the program and see how good I can make those sounds sound. And that was cool. I liked that. It kind of opened me up to dig around within my program and find all kinds of little sounds in there. Like I said, I'm really happy with the song. I hope you guys will enjoy it. So without further ado, here's my first song that I called 1D.